Welcome. Today, we are embarking on a definitive exploration of the most significant shift in human industry since the Industrial Revolution. We are charting the migration of global power from the East to the heart of the Americas. The factory of the world is no longer a single dot on the map. It is decentralizing, regionalizing, and moving to the Andes. This is not just an economic trend, it is a total reconfiguration of how our world functions. Part 1. The Rise and Reign of China. For 30 years, the world's economy was powered by a low-cost, high-volume Asian engine that seemed unstoppable. This era defined the modern consumer experience. This model connected Western consumers to Asian workers across 10,000 miles of ocean, built on the promise of infinite growth, absolute efficiency, and the lowest possible price point. By 2010, China was the indispensable partner. Every major brand, from global fashion to the most advanced technology, was anchored in the Shenzhen-Guangzhou industrial corridor. But this dominance came with a hidden price, a profound reliance on just-in-time manufacturing that assumed the world's shipping lanes would always be clear and open. Then came 2020. In an instant, the global engine stalled. The pandemic revealed the profound fragility of a system stretched too thin and too far across the globe. The model was broken. Empty shelves and months of delays proved that lowest cost was no longer the only metric. Geopolitical friction and rising trans-Pacific freight costs began to turn that cost into an unacceptable risk. Rising tariffs and trade wars forced global boardrooms to search for a plan B. But as lead times grew and risks mounted, many soon realized that the Andes were actually the new Plan A. Mexico was uniquely positioned to capture this massive shift. By early 2026, it had solidified its position as the top trading partner of the United States, surpassing every other nation on Earth. Benefiting from the USMCA framework, Mexico offers something China no longer can: duty-free access, physical proximity, and a deeply integrated North American economic destiny. Monterrey and Tijuana have become the world's most advanced clusters for automotive and aerospace engineering, growing their industrial footprint by 30% in just 5 years. Foreign direct investment reached a historical record of over $40 billion by 2025, with greenfield projects, entirely new investments, leading the charge for regionalization. The economic math has undergone a stunning reversal. Manufacturing labor costs in Mexico are now lower than in China when adjusted for productivity and regional overhead. When you factor in tariffs, which for Chinese goods can now exceed 50%, the argument for the Andes becomes economically undeniable for any major Western manufacturer. Mexico is now graduating more engineers per capita than many developed nations, building a sophisticated workforce ready for the highest levels of value-added manufacturing. Nowhere is this shift more evident than in the automotive sector. Mexico has become the beating heart of North American car production and a global leader in EV innovation. The transition to electric transport has accelerated nearshoring, with multi-billion-dollar EV plants rising across the central and northern states to meet booming Western demand. A car made in Mexico is truly a regional product, with parts crossing the border dozens of times, weaving the two economies into a single, resilient industrial machine. Beyond cars, the aerospace cluster in Querétaro is now producing the most complex turbine and engine parts for the world's leading aviation firms. But as we move further south into the heart of the Andes, we find Colombia, a nation carving out a specialized and vital role in the new global trade order. As the only South American nation with ports on both oceans, Colombia is a logistical powerhouse serving both the U.S. East and West coasts with equal speed. Cities like Bogotá and Medellín have transformed into global hubs for business process outsourcing and sophisticated software development for the world's largest tech firms. This is knowledge process outsourcing. Telemedicine, fintech, and real-time agile coding are the new Colombian exports, leveraging a highly educated bilingual workforce. The time zone advantage is insurmountable for Asian competitors. Live, real-time collaboration happens without the coordination fatigue of a 12-hour gap. For modern tech companies, being able to iterate in real time with an Andean team is worth significantly more than raw labor savings found in Asia. Manufacturing FDI in Colombia is growing at 25% annually, with a focus on high-precision electronics, pharmaceuticals, and critical health technology. From Mexico's heavy industry to Costa Rica's medtech and Colombia's digital services, each nation offers a different piece of the global nearshoring puzzle. Logistics is where the Andes truly win the battle. In 2026, speed to market has become the primary driver of retail and consumer tech success. Shipments from Mexico reach the US in 2 to 7 days. From China, it's 20 to 40 days of water-bound capital and market uncertainty. This physical proximity allows brands to react to shifting consumer trends in days rather than months, drastically reducing the cost of inventory. Regionalization creates an agile, real-time response to market shifts that Asia's massive distance-bound scale simply cannot provide in 2026. By shortening the distance, companies can carry less inventory and eliminate the risk of entire seasons of product being stuck at sea. In 2026, the shift is about more than just profit. It is about the planet. Nearshoring is now a core pillar of modern global sustainability goals. Shortening the supply chain drastically lowers the carbon footprint of every product, making the Andes the green choice for the Western consumer. The region's vast renewable energy potential is attracting firms committed to carbon-neutral manufacturing and a sustainable industrial future. For Western brands, being closer to production means better oversight, higher transparency, and guaranteed compliance with strict global standards. But the Andean takeover is not guaranteed. There are profound challenges that threaten to stall this historic momentum if left unaddressed. Mexico is one of the most water-stressed nations on Earth. Industrial clusters are hungry for resources that are becoming increasingly scarce. An aging electrical grid and energy policy uncertainty are creating bottlenecks that modern factories simply cannot afford in a competitive world. The speed of investment has outpaced the speed of infrastructure, leading to traffic and logistical jams in the most successful manufacturing hubs. Security remains a significant invisible tax. Regional instability and the rule of law add a layer of cost and risk that boardrooms cannot ignore. Cargo theft and cartel influence put pressure on operational margins, requiring specialized security measures for every single shipment. As factories go digital, they become targets. Ransomware incidents in the region have increased by 75% in the last 2 years. Institutional stability is critical. Recent judicial reforms have created a cautious atmosphere in global boardrooms regarding asset protection. There is also a war for talent. The massive influx of companies has led to fierce competition for the best engineers and bilingual managers. This saturation is driving up wages and turnover rates, forcing companies to reconsider their regional hiring and retention strategies. Latin American nations are now the board for a global game of chess. The US is pushing for friendshoring, while China remains a major financier. While the goal is to decouple from Asian hubs, Chinese firms are themselves moving to Mexico to maintain access to the US market. The 2026 USMCA review has forced Mexico to align more closely with US industrial policy to maintain its preferential market access. The result is a more resilient Western market, better shielded from the volatility of trans-Pacific shipping and global political shocks. So, can the Andes truly displace China? The answer is no longer if, but how much. The data shows the shift is permanent and historic. The future of global manufacturing is closer, faster, and more resilient. The Andes are the new strategy for an increasingly volatile world. Thank you for joining us on this definitive journey. The shift is here. The world is watching. Stay healthy and stay informed. Stay curious, stay ahead. Goodbye for now. Produced to provide insight into the global systems that shape our world. Support regional economic growth and stay updated on global trade trends. A more resilient world is built through collaboration. Goodbye.